Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Discipline is key for masculinity. Now, you know how I'm doing on Fridays, talking about masculine, how to become more masculine, how to really allow the energy to flow. Because if you're a man, you watching this, it's already in you. So you just have to allow it to flow within you. A key part of it is discipline. See, masculinity represents order. In order to have order, you have to have discipline. Femininity is more just out there. It represents chaos. And really, if you bring them together, there's a balance. But see, the man, let's not worry about the woman's side for now. Let's worry about the man's side. And in order for a man to bring that order, he has to have discipline. For him to do anything, discipline. In civilized cultures, and I do mean the word civilized, that had rites of passage, they would have the boys go through acts of discipline in order to bring out the man in them, or at least be able to see if they had the man in them. And I'll just say in cases where they didn't show any discipline and they didn't pass that rites of passage, it could be dire circumstances because they will feel like that wouldn't be an adult male anyway. It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you what, discipline. Can you maintain something? Like I use body game. One of the things with body game, I've talked about this several times, is how it builds discipline. It's not just about having muscles or, having a certain aesthetic. You actually build discipline by going to the gym or doing calisthenics or whatever you're doing to work out. It builds discipline within you. Even it's not even about bench pressing 300 pounds. Hey, that's cool if you can. But it's about having the discipline to always work out. It's about the discipline, maintaining it. I mean, even little things that you do, making up your bed every day, every morning, that's discipline. Everything, just discipline. And that's what it means to be a man, having that discipline, having it all the time, always having that discipline. Because as a man, you have to bring order, but in order to bring order outside of you, you have to bring order within yourself first, and then within your boundary. Indeed, I've heard some lady female content creators talk about that. Talk about they really respect boundaries within a man. That's because that means he has some type of discipline, because to maintain your boundary, you have to maintain your discipline. And that's very important. That is very important, because in some women, some women are tested. Some women are tested, but they're not testing it out of evil or that they just rotten. At least most of them ain't. They testing it to see if you actually have it, because they need to know, because then they feel safe. They need to feel that you are a man, because if you're not, they don't feel safe, and then there could be further problems down the road. Nah, they testing it to see if you had that boundary. See, to maintain that boundary, you have to have that discipline to do so. Very, very important. Very, very important. And then as you expand it, you still have to have discipline to do that. You have to have discipline to really just be a man, especially in this society. Especially you have forces in this society trying to say there's a problem with it. Shoot, you got forces that say, oh no, you should just let that go, or you're being toxic or something. You have to have discipline to keep that boundary, to keep your masculinity, to keep who you going to be, And it's so many small ways. Like I say, a body game is one. And that's actually a big part of developing your discipline. Also, too, you may be not using like certain drugs. Maybe not smoking or doing something like that. That's discipline right there. And that's tough. Oh, it's tough because you have so many forces trying to say it. Shoot, even the type of women you deal with. If you have some rules and you say, nah, I ain't gonna deal with this type of woman or this type of woman, you gotta be disciplined, because sure enough, that type of woman will come into your circle and test it out. In fact, if you tell a group of women, if you tell some women, it's like, nah, I don't deal with that type of woman, invariably one will hear it and say, well, let me test that out. Because like I say, women are always testing it out. And if you keep that discipline, if you keep it, you get their respect. And I always say it's more important to have a woman's respect than her love. But she respecting the discipline. She's respecting the discipline that brings masculinity. She's respecting the discipline that brings masculinity, that brings order to you. And that's how you have to be. That's how you have to do it. But it's key. It's key. I would say now, if somebody were to ask me, how do I develop it? Well, okay, what are you doing now? Pick something. You know, I'm known for body game. You could start there. Or you could say, well, you know what? I'm gonna clean up something every day. You know, I'm gonna keep my environment clean. I'm gonna be disciplined in doing that. You know, working out too. Or I'm gonna be disciplined in only dealing with a certain type of woman. Or I'm gonna be disciplined in only having sex during certain times. That's discipline right there. You know, I'm gonna be disciplined in not dealing with this type of woman, or a woman who is in a relationship with somebody else. That's discipline. You know, you are maintaining it. You know, no, and that's you gotta have that no matter what is being done outside, because there's always going to be forces that's going to try to get you to go their way, their direction. And you got to be like, no. That's when you know you really had discipline, because when you can resist those forces, those outside forces that's trying to get you to go in that direction, that's when you know you have discipline. Because it's easy to follow. And you have so many forces out here that get you to follow. And unfortunately, there's so many, I'll say males, I can't even call them man, but males that's going to follow whatever is the latest trend. But that's not discipline. That's not discipline at all. You know? So I want y'all to think about that. Think about it. Think about what you could do. It could be something small. You know, you could say you're gonna lose some weight. You're gonna say you can put on some weight. Whatever the case, you're not gonna eat this type of food. Start there, and you're gonna see as you grow, you're gonna have multiple disciplines within your life, and you have to keep all of them. You have to keep every single one. That's what it means to be a man. All right. So that's a key part of masculinity. All right. That is a key part of it, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.